All right, everyone, welcome back to the show for another deep dive. And you know how it is, right? We all get that itch sometimes, that urge to just hit the escape button. I mean, who doesn't daydream about having more vacation time, right?
It's a pretty universal fantasy.
It really is. And today we're flipping the script on that whole vacation craving thing.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at it from a different angle.
You're not here to survive. You're here to live on purpose. My name is Markus Spenger and I'm a high-performance coach. And within this show, we're going to reflect on purpose, on clarity, on focus in your life. So enjoy this episode reflecting my content from the 𝗵𝗶𝗵𝗵𝗵 podcast from Austria. And if you really like the show, well, hit the subscribe button and leave also a comment there, and talk to you soon. And now let's have fun with the rest of the show.
Exactly. And we're taking our cues from Markus Spenger's 𝗵𝗶𝗵𝗵𝗵 podcast. He throws out this question that really gets you thinking.
How much vacation does your life really need? I mean, that's a really good question to ask yourself.
It is. And if you're tuning in, you're probably someone who's driven, you want more clarity.
Yeah.
You're trying to nail down that focus work-life balance that seems to always be just out of reach.
And you're looking for more meaning in what you do day in and day out, right?
Absolutely. So this deep dive is, for you, we're not going to just skim the surface here.
No, we're going deep.
We're going to unpack some ideas that could seriously change your perspective.
Think of this as your crash course on Markus Spenger's take on this whole vacation thing.
We've broken down his insights just for you. And it's not just about repeating what he said.
It's more than that. We want to explore what it all means.
Right, and see how it connects to your own life. And how it can help you build a life you actually love, one where you don't feel like you're constantly needing a break.
Exactly. A life where you don't always feel like you need to escape.
Yeah. So in this session, we're going to start by really getting into what the word vacation even means to you, like what pops into your head when you hear that word.
Those gut reactions,
Right. Then we're going to challenge that idea that we all have about wanting endless vacation. Is it really all it's cracked up to be?
Right. Is it really the answer?
And then the really interesting part, we'll look at this idea of building a life where you don't even need a vacation.
Imagine that.
Yeah, let's jump in. What's the first thing you think of when you hear the word vacation?
Well, Markus Spenger starts off by talking about just that the first things that come to mind when we hear that word. I think for a lot of us, the first thing is relaxation, right?
Yeah, it's that time to step away from it all.
Exactly. Disconnect and recharge.
But the thing is, everyday life is different for everyone.
Of course. Whether it's a crazy job or a busy family or both.
And he makes this point about vacation being something we work towards, especially when it comes to finances.
Totally. Yeah.
And he even shares a bit of his own story. He talks about switching from being an electrician to working in maintenance and automotive production.
Oh, wow. So a completely different field.
Yeah. And it actually meant a big pay cut, like €1,000 a month less, and higher living costs on top of that.
Oh, wow. That's a big change.
It is. And that shift really changed how he thought about vacation.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a given anymore.
It became something you had to plan and save for.
Exactly. And sometimes work extra for.
It's interesting how our money situation can really affect how we see vacation.
It becomes a reward for all that hard work.
Cool.
Then there's this thing about vacation being an escape from everyday life.
Oh, yeah, that anticipation of things being different.
Yeah, like everything's going to be lighter, more carefree.
Like a weight off your shoulders.
And Markus even talks about this thing where people get sick at the beginning of their vacation.
Really? Like they've been holding it together and then, boom, they get sick.
It's like their body finally relaxes enough to let go of all that stress they've been carrying.
It's like they finally allow themselves to actually unwind.
Right. Have you ever seen that happen?
I've definitely felt that myself, and I've seen it in friends too.
It's a good point, though. It shows that sometimes we crave vacation not just for the good stuff.
But to recover from all the pressure?
Exactly. But vacation isn't just about escaping the bad stuff.
No, of course not.
Markus also talks about all the good things.
Like, what kind of good things?
Well, it mentions that quality time you get with your family, especially with your kids.
Oh, yeah, those special moments you get.
Those adventures, the little things that become family stories, those remember when moments.
I love those.
Me too.
Yeah.
Some of my best memories are from family trips. What about you? Do you have any vacation memories that really stand out?
Oh, yeah, tons. I remember this one time. But yeah, and there's also that whole adventure and exploration side of things.
Oh, absolutely.
Like those road trips you just decide to take on a whim.
In a camper van, or even just with a tent.
Yeah, exactly. And those unexpected things you find along the way.
And the memories you make with friends going through those experiences together.
Oh, yeah. Those are the trips that give you the best stories, the ones you laugh about for years.
Totally. So it's clear that vacation,
Yeah.
it means a lot of different things to different people.
It's about rest, achievement, breaking free, and making memories that last.
Right. So we've kind of mapped out what vacation means, but now Markus takes it a step further and asks a really interesting question.
What's that?
Do you really want a lifetime of vacation?
Whoa. That's a big one to think about.
It is. It challenges that whole idea we have about endless leisure.
It makes you look at it differently.
Markus tells this story about a conversation he had with a friend years ago.
Oh, I love these stories.
And they came up with this analogy about a favorite movie.
Oh, okay, I'm listening.
You know that movie you absolutely love the first time you see it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You could probably watch it again even a third time and still enjoy it.
Totally, but...
But here's the thing. His friend's point was, even though you still like the movie, that initial magic you felt the first time.
Yeah, that fades a bit.
It's not as strong. You know it's going to happen. The surprises aren't really surprises anymore.
It becomes predictable.
Right. And he compares that to the idea of always being on vacation.
I see where he's going with this.
At first, the thought of traveling all the time and having all that free time sounds amazing.
But then what?
The question is, would it eventually get old? Would changing locations and having all that unstructured time just turn into another routine?
Just a different kind of normal.
Even though you're in different places, maybe it wouldn't feel as special anymore.
Like you get used to it and it's not as exciting.
Exactly. And that's called hedonic adaptation, when even good experiences lose their intensity when you experience them over and over.
It's like how that first bite of cake is always the best.
Right. It's definitely something to think about.
Definitely.
We tend to romanticize this idea of never-ending freedom and leisure, but Markus is pretty clear about his own stance.
Oh, is he against it?
Yeah. He says no to endless passive vacation.
So he's not into just relaxing all the time.
And he's quick to point out that everyone's different. Some people actually thrive on having long stretches of relaxation and no real structure.
Yeah, some people are just wired that way.
But for Markus, and probably for a lot of us who are driven and want to create and contribute, that constant lack of activity and purpose would probably lead to feeling stuck or maybe even bored.
Like you're not really living.
Yeah. And he even talks about traditional Chinese medicine TCM and how it categorizes different energy types.
I've heard a bit about that.
He sees himself as someone who needs to be moving, to be putting energy out into the world.
So even though being on a beach forever sounds nice in theory,
it might not actually be what we need deep down.
Interesting.
And that brings us to the heart of it all.
That's sad.
Could you build a life where you don't need to escape on vacation?
Whoa. Now that's a thought.
It's not about never taking time off.
Right.
It's about living your everyday life in a way that's already fulfilling.
So you don't feel like you need to get away from it.
Exactly. Markus has this really interesting thought experiment. He wants you to imagine yourself 5 years from now, and for the past 3 years, your life has been so in line with what you value and what you love that you don't really see a difference between your life and vacation anymore.
Like they've become one and the same.
And you rarely feel that desperate need to escape because you're already living a life that feels meaningful.
That's powerful.
It is. So let's think about you in this scenario. What would your day look like 5 years from now in that life where you don't need a vacation? What would you be doing? What are you really passionate about? What gets you out of bed in the morning?
That's a great question.
Whether it's early or late?
Yeah.
Whatever works for you. What kind of work would you be doing that wouldn't feel like a drag, but more like you're actually making a difference?
Work that feels good to do.
And it's not just about what you do on your own.
Right. It's about your relationships, too.
Think about your family and your friends. How would having more time where work and life aren't separate things, how would that affect those relationships?
Would you be more present?
Would you have more opportunities to do things together, to really connect?
Yeah.
It all goes back to this idea of purpose, of finding what Markus calls your sense.
That joy you get from doing things you love.
Right, that drive that comes from within, from your genuine interests and your passions. Yeah. What do you feel like you need to create, to build, to achieve? Not because someone's telling you to, but because it truly excites you and aligns with what you believe in.
That's when you know you're on the right track.
And this is at the core of Markus Spenger's 𝗵𝗶𝗵𝗵𝗵 philosophy.
Which is?
It's about building a life that feels so true to who you are, to your values, to your deepest passions, that you don't feel that desperate need for a vacation to escape.
Because you're already living a fulfilling life.
So let's go over what we've talked about today. We started by looking at what vacation really means to us.
All those different layers.
That we challenged that idea of wanting a never-ending vacation.
And whether it's really what we truly want.
And finally, we explored this idea of creating a life where you don't need to escape.
A life that you genuinely enjoy living.
And that brings us to our final thought for you, something to take with you.
Okay, I'm ready.
What's one small thing you can do today, right now, to bring more of what you truly value into your everyday life?
Little step you can take today.
What can you do to start blurring those lines between your work, your passions, your personal time? Picture yourself in that vacationless future. What's one feeling you could start cultivating in your life right now?
That's a great challenge.
It is. And maybe thinking more about Markus Spenger's ideas about building a 𝗵𝗶𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗏 life will give you even more inspiration.
That's definitely something worth checking out.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it's given you some things to think about.
Absolutely some food for thought.
Until next time.
See you then.
Ready to stop chasing and start living? Book your free clarity call at 𝗵𝗶𝗴𝗵 or download your free clarity report to gain focus, build inner strengths, and live with direction and purpose. Because, you know, life is too short to just function. It's time to lead from within. Be bold, be clear, be you.